Okay guys, so how to top up water pressure into your boiler, into your combi boiler, when you have this kind of a setup and filling loop arrangement on a boiler. It's pretty common with Ideal Logics, Baxi Dutex, Pottertons, where you have this kind of a filling loop system. And sometimes it can be quite confusing if you've not done it previously. First of all, obviously, you need to know if your system pressure is low. You can have a look at a manual gauge, and this should be around 1.5 bar. Currently it's our 1 bar. Boiler's still functioning, it's not showing us any error code, but if that goes below 1 bar, then the boiler will detect it as a fault and it will show you an error code, which will mean that the pressure is low. So you should be able to then top it up as a customer yourself. So looking at the valve arrangement, as you can see, all of these valves are, let's say, in upright position. For the heating, gas, cold water, same again, the black valve for the heating in the back. So they're all in upright position. So that's the open position where the water is entering into the boiler from all of these valves, whether it's gas, heating or cold water. What we need to do is we need to direct this cold water to come through this pipe instead of going up first, to come through this pipe so we can then put it into the heating circuit, and that's when our pressure will go up as well. So currently in this position, the cold water pipe, that's this one here, is sending water into the boiler and is coming out of the hot tap, which is this pipe. So not to confuse you further, all we're going to do is, first of all, we will direct this cold water to this pipe instead of going up. How we do it is by turning this valve and changing it to this position. So now it's in line with the filling loop pipe, as you can see. So now we have stopped cold water going into the boiler and we've directed it through this copper pipe here. But so far, because this isolation valve is closed, the water is not going into the system. What we need to do now is we need to open this valve. We should be able to hear the water going into the system, as well as on this gauge we need to keep an eye on, and when it reaches around 1.5 bar, we will shut this valve first and then we will put this valve back in the same position that it was in initially. So let's just do it. So when we open this, I think you can hear water going into the system, and we also keep an eye on the gauge. I suggest you open it slowly at the beginning, just possibly quarter or half turn, when you can hear the water going into the system and also see on the gauge as well. And then you can open it fully if you like, just to speed up the process slightly. But when it reaches around 1.5 bar-ish, all I'm doing now is I've closed this valve back to the same position it was in. And don't forget to put this valve back in the position that particular valve was in. Because if you were to leave it in this position, you will find that when you go to your hot tap, there'll be no hot water coming out. Well, there should be no water coming out of there, because the valve is still allowing the water to come in this direction rather than going into the boiler. So if you by mistake don't turn this valve off and only turn this off, then you go to your sink or your basin, you will find when you run your hot tap, there'll be no water. All you need to do is come back to your boiler, put this valve in this position, and that's it. You should have hot water again. Thanks for watching. Bye.